What's going on, guys? You found Bottom Tier Collector, and I'm your host of BTC. I don't really want to say too much in this intro. I really want to get into the meat and potatoes of this video, and then at the end, I can talk about thoughts and opinions and all that kind of stuff. But real quickly, some of my friends and family from, we call it the scene around here, they have revived an old hardcore band, Bare Knuckle. For those of you who haven't listened to my Bare Knuckle EP review video, I talked a lot about it in that video. I'll just refer to that video. But they did their EP release show last night as of the time of recording this video. And it was over at Mad Malt's Brewery. And I recorded 2 videos. I wanted to record the whole set for the YouTube channel, but I was just something in me was just urging me to put the phone down and just experience the show. Don't be that guy with the phone, that annoying YouTube guy that's vlogging or whatever, getting on people's nerves. And no disrespect to anyone that vlogs. But that's just my personality. I'm just don't have that kind of personality to be comfortable enough to be recording in public like that. But the first clip you're gonna see is of Walk Your Talk. That's the intro song. That's the money song. Most Bare Knuckle fans, if you know any lyrics, you know Walk Your Talk. That's the good set starter song. It gets everybody stomping across the pit. Gets everybody moving. It's got a good chorus line to it. And I recorded about 2 minutes of it. There was a point where I've decided to flip my phone so I could get more of the band in the shot. So I'm going to start the video about where I flipped my phone so it's not annoying. And then it's going to stop abruptly, and that's when it just stirred in me. It was building up to the final breakdown of Walk Your Talk. And I'm at the edge of the pit at this point, and it just stirred in me. I'm like, these are my friends. This is my first show in years. Like, let's give it one good breakdown. And put the phone down, and I pushed some people out of the way, got into the mosh pit, swung some fists, chanted Walk Your Talk, and then went back to the side or whatever. That was a fun experience. So that's going to be the first clip, and then I'll just transition smoothly into a minute of a different song. I forget which song it is, but it was about a minute of that song. And then just to give you guys just an example of what I used to do every weekend 15, 20 years ago. Hope you guys enjoy. So that was a snippet of the Bare Knuckle EP release show. I showed up about an hour late to the show. I used to when I was 15, 16 years old, and I just worshipped every band, treated them like gods and legends. There's these untouchable people. I was very punctual. I wanted to get there for the first band, and I wanted to stay to the end of the last band. I'd be at shows for hours, just enjoying myself and soaking in the environment. And I used to just get puzzled at how casual and just whatever the old guard people were about shows, showing up late, only watching the bands that they really care about. It used to always puzzle me, and now being part of the old guard, I understand it. You got prior commitments. I had to get kids down and stuff. I think Band 2 was playing. Band 2 was really cool. I don't remember their name. They're really cool chugging band. No. It was Band 3. Band 3 was setting up. I think as I was walking into Mad Malt's Brewery, which is where the EP show was in Huntsville. I don't know if I said that already. I think Band 2 was playing, but I wasn't in the door. I actually watched several songs of Band 3, and they were really cool. They didn't stop. They didn't take a break. That band, they would say, they would like play a song, quick break, something like "Tear It Up, Huntsville," or "Let Me See You Wreck Somebody," or something. I don't know. And then they go right into the next song, and then I went outside to chat, hang out at the Bare Knuckle merch table and chat with friends and family at the table. And outside, it just sounded like that band was just playing one long song. It was kind of funny, but they were cool dudes. I was around the vocalist for a little bit. He was cool. And then band number 4, again, I forget their name. I'm going to have the thumbnail be the show flyer, so look up all these bands. If you're into this kind of thing, look up all these bands. I know at least one of them was a touring band. And they were really good. They were more on the metalcore side, but they had some hardcore influence and a good 1, 2, 3, 4 band, as I call them. They don't play too much up the fretboard, nothing complicated, not too much music. Not that they can't play their instruments. No disrespect to the musicians in the band, but just low and heavy music and just good vibes in the pit and all that kind of stuff. And then we got to Bare Knuckle again. Had a great time listening to Bare Knuckle. Their cover of Hatebreed threw me off, but it makes total sense. I know a lot of people from my era in shows that they grew up on Hatebreed and loved Hatebreed. I think they played Smash Your Enemies. I'm not the biggest Hatebreed fan, but I believe that's the one they played, the cover they played. And it's good vibes. Lance was up there telling kids to actually fight, that it's good to fight and have physical violence. And he went on a rant about Nazis being at shows, and the reason why Nazis are appearing at shows now is because they're not getting their butts kicked. Just good hardcore energy right there. Love that kind of stuff. And the scene has changed over the years. This being my 3rd show in 10 years. About the time I was getting out of the scene and I was meeting my wife and I was settling down and taking on more responsibility and things that were taking away time and energy from going to shows, I remember it was canvas van shoes and short khaki shorts and like some super underground niche only you knew band t-shirt, and then your hair was probably slicked back with pomade. Everybody would get a military fade. They'd leave their hair on top, but then they'd almost like fade it out hard deep at the sides and back, and then you would part it and then comb it over with pomade. That hairstyle was huge as I was getting out like 10 years ago. Still saw some of that when I went to a 21 show to my brother-in-law. That's the bass player in the Clipser scene. was also in 21 and 1 with a different best friend of mine as well. Some of that trend was still there 5, 6, 7 years ago. And then now coming to this show, it's crazy. Like, hardcore is dead and gone, and there's none of that anymore. It's really just metalcore and metal, and maybe there's screamo bands around here, emo, punk bands. I don't know, but it was just goths everywhere. Fishnets, black, spikes, chains. I didn't see any bondage pants. I will say that. No bondage pants, no vampire jackets. But I did see some makeup, and I did see some battle jackets from some punks out there. And that's just not really the scene I'm used to. Again, it was just mostly guys that looked like me. And any of the metalheads back in that day had the flat ironed hair, skinny jeans, and band t-shirts. And skinny jeans are so dead now. That is such a dated thing. The skinny jeans is my generation's mullet for sure. Nobody, even the goths and the goth girls, were not wearing skinny jeans. So just interesting to see how times have changed. The scene still seems to be filled with a lot of young people. I didn't know how many old heads were going to be there. I saw a couple old heads. I mean, you had Bare Knuckle, old head band from the area. You had me. There was another friend of mine, Justin Fields. There was an acquaintance of mine, Nathan Carter, was there. Nathan Carter, I've seen him at every show. I've been to hundreds of shows probably. And Nathan Carter's been at every show, be it a secular show, a Christian metal show, at a church. You know, Nathan Carter's been there. So nice to see a face I recognize. I also recognize, I don't know his real name. I don't even know him enough to speak to him. But his nickname is Duck, and he was taking ticket money at the door. I've been seeing him at shows for 20, 25 years. And then there's, I don't know if he's Asian or Asian Pacific. Again, another guy that I just know from the scene, but I'm not a friend of his. His name's Mika. He's been in several bands before as well. He showed up. So interesting to see just a handful of the old guard still comes out to shows. And maybe it's a case like me. If it's the right band, I'll come out. But I'm just over the days of I just got to go down to the venue and pit. I got to let my frustration out. Those days are kind of over for me. But this is something I'd like to do from time to time. It's an excuse to see friends and hang out and listen to good heavy music. I a couple times a year, once a year, something. I wouldn't mind coming out and doing more of these shows. It's really fun, and Little Man seems interested in it. I think it's more of he wants to be more like Daddy kind of thing. You know, who knows how his interest will turn out when he's a teenager. I've had friends in the scene that exposed their little children to this kind of environment. And while I'm not totally against it, because it's a good, productive environment, it can be rough around the edges, but in the end, it's all just good people getting together and having a good time. I'm just a little weary of bringing Little Man to this kind of stuff, because I don't think he will actually enjoy it. He has a hard time with loud sounds, and that kind of music is nothing but loud. I think that's it. I think that's all I really got to say. Again, I had a fun time. I loved that it was at a brewery. I got to try Mad Malt's 19th hole German Kolsch. I tried to get the double IPA. You know, my general rule is if I'm going to have like one beer, I'm going for alcohol volume, ABV. One. If I'm going to drink one beer, and it's not something that I've paid for and it's in my fridge, what's your highest alcohol content? And that's generally my rule. But that their double IPA it had 10% alcohol, which is stout for a beer, and they ran out. Everybody had the same idea as me, I guess. So my one beer I went German. I was like, okay, if I can't get the alcohol content I want, I'm going to actually go for the style I prefer. I usually swing towards Belgium and German beers, and they had a German style Kolsch, which is their 19th Old Kolsch. It was an all right beer. It definitely from a microbrewery. A lot of hops dominated the beer, but Kolsch isn't very deep of a beer. It's meant to be more of a lawnmower beer, lighter on the malts, less complicated kind of thing, more for drinking on a hot summer day, which it was. And it was a solid beer. I didn't hate it though. I would go back to Mad Malts or buy Mad Malts off the grocery store shelves if I was in the mood for a Mad Malts beer. That's really all I got, guys. Again, thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting. One last thing before I go. I was going to make sure this is take 2. I'm going to make sure I was going to put this in the video. In my Bare Knuckle Rampage EP review, I was referring to the guitar player as Alan Sears the whole video. And to my credit, I haven't seen Bare Knuckle in years. The last time I saw Bare Knuckle was 12, 13 years ago at Low Mill, and like last night, they were the only hardcore band on the ticket. So that's where my memory comes from of the band and the roster. And no one, maybe they didn't care, maybe no one picked up on it, but Alan Sears is no longer in Bare Knuckle. It's just, and apparently he goes way back. I don't recognize Kane is his name. He's the guitar player you see in the clips. Cool guy. I got to chat him up a little bit. Good dude. Fits the band for sure. Great guitar player. I'd be interested to see him and my brother-in-law Brandon come up with some cool stuff for new Bare Knuckle material. But yeah, he's the guitar player on that EP, not Alan Sears, and I just feel sheepish and silly for having done a whole 18-20 minute video referring to the guitar player as Alan Sears when indeed it is this Kane guy. So just wanted to get that corrected. If anybody from Bare Knuckle sees that, apologize. But it's all good, innocent fun, right? Again, I'll beat a dead horse. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, and I'll see you next time.